And restarted the recording. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all well. We're still letting people in. I see Varpu has her little snowies with her. We have a pretty good connection today. However, we are on with Anil in Nepal. So if you want to shut your camera off to reduce the bandwidth, that's great. We are going to be sharing a PowerPoint, and that takes up quite a bit. So if all you guys are coming in with your mics off, but if you could turn your camera off while we're doing the presentation, because I don't want to lose Anil. So great. We're still letting people in. I think we have a pretty good group today. We're joined today by Dr. Jackson, our director, and our vice president, Ashley Lutz Nelson. And our special guest for today is Anil Adhikari, and he is a writer and conservationist from Nepal. He lives in Kathmandu, and it's nighttime there, and it's the middle of the day here where I am in Illinois. So, but we do have an audience from all around the world, and we'd like to welcome all of you today. Anil has brought with him a PowerPoint presentation so that he can tell you all about how he got to snow leopard conservation and what's going on with his projects today. So Anil, why don't I go ahead and share my screen and the PowerPoint, and telling me to move this away. I think I can make this disappear altogether. So there we go.
Shall I start?
From the beginning? Yes, there we go. All righty, so Anil, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us today. And
thank you everyone for being with me. Thank you, Shavaun. Thank you, entire Snow Leopard team, for this wonderful opportunity to share my work, experiences, thoughts. It is so privileged to be here. And Rodney Jackson, I'm really fortunate that I could have chance to work with the world's legendary scientists. So, okay, I start my presentation here.
sure.
I'm a technical writer, editor. So it's been 20 years since I'm in conservation education sector in Nepal. So with Snow Leopard Conservancy, it's been a decade. Before that, I worked with WWF Nepal. So basically, my assignment used to be writing a book and training to the school-based environment clubs. So, so I enjoy going to the field, meeting people, interacting with them, and documenting best practices. Mostly, my writing was that way. So, please next slide, please. Okay, this is the step in 1991. Yeah, I would like to share that. So I started writing with my a story that made a television movie, the one short movie, and broadcast on national television in 1991. Then 1993, I published a novel. So this was the good start, and gave me lots of motivation to initiate further. So next. So I hope you are enjoying my, you'll enjoy my presentation. So it was a good thing that from the very beginning, my passion was, or my dream was to become a writer. And I did my graduation in law, practiced journalism, and later I got a job as a curriculum writer. It was a huge project where being with the curriculum writing team, I contributed in the, writing non-formal education book and training to the illiterate women living in, various parts of Nepal. So I used to go to the field and, spend time in the field, test the book. So it was very different kind of experiences I got. The woman, sat in radio, after their dinner, and cleaning up the all dishes. So they started reading book. So sometimes it went up to 12 a.m. and when I came back from the field test, and then I worked there as a curriculum writer for 2 years. Um, Please, next slide. So is it okay? Is going okay?
Yes, it's
So,
going great.
so well, there was a program in Chiton where I started one conservation assignment, tiger rhino conservation project under former King Mahendra Trust for Nature Conservation. It is one of the leading institute working on conservation. So I was assigned as a consultant for that project in 2000. So after that, so I got chance to work with WWF for 12 years as a consultant writer, and where I was assigned to write a book for. And my first assignment was very interesting. That WWF actually were had has one important wings, conservation education. So forming the school-based environment clubs in students. So I was assigned to write a book for bringing some behavior change in environment. So you see that our environment behavior need to change. And in the village, what happened that the small children using the slingshot, killing the birds, and so they don't know how to manage the waste and some kind of things that I wanted to disseminate through the book, having some extracurricular activities, interesting games and assignments. So this book was field tested in Sagarmatha Everest region. So with WWF, it was I published and wrote 5 to 6 books. Going to the different projects site, and meeting with the throughout the Himalaya, and in the lowland of Nepal. So i- along with the,
Anil,
yes.
Anil, didn't you tell me that once they started using these books that the kids quit using those slingshots on animals and birds?
Yeah, actually, yes, they did. Yeah, so the thing was, I put some messages, or content, not to kill the birds through the game, and so this book used widely in the WLF project area. So the conservation teacher, used to facilitate the book in the class. So when I started to find out what changes has brought this book, so I came to know that the reading or using this book, and conservation education So they realized that that is not a good thing.
That's great.
Yeah, and not only that, but other we have also some changes I have got to, that I'll present in next slide. So what?
Before we go to the next slide, does everybody see who that's a picture of up here in the right-hand corner?
Oh
That's
yeah,
Leo.
yeah, I thought. So yeah, it's very extraordinary thing, I think, because of the popularity and the good thing the environment clubs doing in Nepal. WWF Nepal brought world's Hollywood big star Leonardo DiCaprio in Nepal. So nobody knew that he's coming to Nepal, and he's been to in a far western part of Nepal, and these students got chance to join hand in plantation tree, so and I was lucky that I documented that story, and it published, WLF published it. Later on it distributed to the students. They were very happy to have that story back on hand, and
That's
so
really neat.
yeah,
That's so neat.
DiCaprio, actually Leonardo had come to Nepal for a tiger conservation project, being as an ambassador, and he's promoting the tiger conservation issues.
That's great, Anil.
So well, yeah, this is all about the Nepal's first landscape level conservation program. So it's a long project going on, actually implemented by the government of Nepal, and WWF Nepal is technically and financially helping. So it assigned me to see what good thing is happening in the field. So my job was very interesting. That I went to the different part of project. Lots of happenings, good happenings there, like habitat management, restoration, and anti-poaching. The women are, patrolling in the jungle, forest. They are taking care of their local forest, and lots of many conservation heroes are doing extraordinary work in like wildlife conservation work is happening there, climate change adaptation practice happening, and so and it was my opportunity that I could experience that things, and I can bring some stories together and disseminate among the stake conservation stakeholders, local communities, and so yeah, so it's all about best practices in biodiversity conservation, and I think, and it well too, that the without the local community, local participation, and without the securing the livelihood, sustainable livelihood, conservation is not possible, and
Right,
so and lots of many communities are benefited from the conservation initiatives, and not only in Nepal but other countries. So
right.
so one example, that story, the short story I'd like to share you here, that there is river dependent community living in the lowland of Nepal. So they are dependent on fishing, and the fish, and then there is a gharial, the endangered reptile, and so it is depend only on fish. So so the gharial population is slowly slow down, and so WWF in this project, Tarai Arc Landscape Project, they started diverting the river dependent community into the community, building some ponds inside the village. So the gharial population uh, come back habitat, they are seen gradually, and in the community are given training, they receive some life skill training, and so their livelihood started upgrading, and so this is the win-win situation that I had
Exactly.
yeah, I got chance to experience and documented. So one after another, actually, this is my luck that I could have chance to work in different species. Currently, it's been 10 years that I'm in snow leopard conservation. But in eastern Nepal, there is one very successful project on red panda conservation. That what happened that I wrote and published the Red Panda Network. Is implementing 2 books since 3 years in 27 schools.
Wow.
So yeah, this is this actually my experience that I studied in government school, and even today, the government curriculum is it's a black and white curriculum. The textbook black and white. So in the rural communities, the students are feeling very good. Feeling happy that they are having a colorful curriculum, and all the stories are from their community. When I was writing this book, I organized the training and compiled all the stories from the about the red panda conservation, and the local biodiversity issues, the livelihood issues, success stories. So compiling all. So this is based on that content. So the students feel ownership in that book, and the schools are expanding every year. And I just got some good news from the impact from this implementation of conservation education book.
I noticed, Anil, in your books, there's a lot of illustrations. Do you do your own illustrations, or do you have an artist that you work with?
I'm only involved in writing and editing, but we have a team, so illustrator are there. So the important thing is when we don't have photographs, but we have memories in the local community. So
Mm-hmm.
my intention or my aim is to bring that memory back through the sketch. Sometimes what happened that the lots of good thing in happen, but they don't have photographs on the spot that time.
Uh-huh.
So I interview them and try to get that thing back through the illustration. So it's, yeah, people like it, and it's the look is good, and
Yeah,
and
it's
then the
great.
student like the color and sketch. That the big thing.
Yeah, here's
Like this guy. So this
that's a
is the
great
first.
picture of him.
Yeah. Yeah. In the background, there is a mountain, snow mountain. Rodney has been there in Sagarmatha, Everest region. What happened that this is my first assignment. So when I recall, the smile comes in my mouth. So what happened that let me share with you that it's an interesting story. Being very honest, my brother-in-law is a friend of Dr. Somale, former regional conservation director. He used to share my publication with him in university. Both of them were in University of Minnesota. So Som Ali was very much interested, and he wanted to take the conservation education through the book in the community. So when he came to Nepal, he had some loose sheets of sketches, and he asked me, Anil, can you make it book, as a book? Can you develop it as a book? So I said, yeah, why not? Then, so uh, I included some text about the snow leopards. So doing some research and the literature review, and so Som and I think SLC team like it, and he disseminated it among lots of many stakeholders. So this book later, sent to the community, and I heard the story that the parents felt very, happy that their children were contributing in the book, and it is published. Their photo is published, so they are very excited and motivated. So I think this is very important that because in the rural community, there is a scarcity of the, the means. So you cannot publish your work. So newspaper is out of, they are, out of reach.
Uh-huh.
So if we do this kind of thing, so this is a lifetime memory for them, and they never forget snow leopard. They never harm snow leopard, I think, you know. So they always have, good feelings.
I, I should just add, Neil, for this, is that this book is also translated into English, and it's illustrated with a photo of each of the kids, plus the art that they did for a competition, right? And so if anybody would like to see that book, I believe it's on our website, but we
Yes.
could probably put it up for you if it's not.
It's in the media section, Rodney, of our website. It is there. Yeah, right at the top of the page. Great.
This is one this is, to me, was one of the most exciting things that Anil did, and that was to make contact with herders. And herders, of course, always suffer the loss of livestock from snow leopards, unfortunately, and it's their livelihood. And I'd be really interested, you could tell us some of the stories about meeting the herders and what they had to say to you, and how you got this diverse set of stories, which is also in a book and which also should be on our website.
Yeah. So yeah, this was a very, I got very good experiences. First of all, it was monsoon when I, went to Upper Mustang. So the scary river, and the landslide, lots of landslide.
Oh,
The
boy.
flight is cancelled from Pokhara, and you have to go by road. So changing the vehicles, and the guy, the one guy, he was in hurry to reach his be in his office, because his leave was completed. And so we reached to Upper Mustang from Johnson in 2 days. So and when I so what I think that I submitted a proposal to Snow Leopard Conservancy, because the herder are looking very dirty, and people think that, oh, you know but in his memory there are lots of very extraordinary memories they have, because they are the witness of the pasture land, highland, and they are witness of the snow leopard and its prey and habitat. So I thought that they must have some beautiful stories. So we interacted with 25 herders in different places of Upper Mustang. So some extraordinary story that the girl with the herder woman, she's pulling her goat here, and snow leopard is eating from that side. So so they have a conflict. So actually in Nepal, not only in Nepal, in the Himalaya, this is the problem. One of the biggest problem, that the livestock human wildlife conflict is the big issues challenge for a snow leopard. And it is not addressed well. So so through the story, through the very interesting shorts and colorful stories, people at least know that, oh, this thing is happening in the Nepal's Himalaya. So lots of the herders. The problem, I realized that there is no insurance scheme practice in limited area of Nepal, in conservation area practice, but it is not as per the market value. They get less compensation, and they are not encouraged to. So this is the book of account of interaction with the snow leopard, and they have lost lots of their livestock, which is the source of their livelihood. So, but what I think that this kind of publication is very important in conservation. This can disseminate the message to the mass audience that, okay, snow leopard living in the Himalayas, and their prey and habitat, and then the stories, different stories.
And Neil, in the
So,
stories that they told you, did they encounter snow leopards in the middle of the day very much, or was it just mostly nighttime?
yeah, yeah, this is very interesting thing you raised. That most of the herders have seen the snow leopard as per their version, because I verified that information also. But yeah, some herders complain or explain me that they encounter it in the daytime also.
Wow.
So even the one woman, herder woman, so she was telling her story. So it happened at around 11 in the a.m. Sorry, yeah, in the morning, and sometimes in the daytime. So it depends. But theoretically, and so it is says that it is active in the early in the morning and in the evening. But the local herder who has experience and interacted with the snow leopard can see daytime also.
Yeah, I should just add, there's one person you wrote about was Pasang Loa,
Yeah.
and he lived in a village called Marang, and he
Mhm.
said something like 30% of the 56 households had actually come across snow leopards. So, they are sighted regularly, and everybody has a story of predation
Yeah.
or, some encounter that threatened their livelihood.
Actually, the entire village is living in the snow leopard habitat, no, Rodney? Yeah, village is located in the habitat. So yeah, there is every household has a story, different stories, some interesting stories. So I think we should continue documenting these kind of happenings. It's very interesting.
Yeah, it isn't like they're coming into the people's um, territory. It's that they both share the same landscape. They both share the
Yeah,
same
yeah,
area, and it's coexisting. It's not like one is invading the other one's space. It's the people and those snow leopards are sharing this space, and it's
yeah. This is also a good thing that the coexistence is happening there. And only the what I think, that if the government and the concerned stakeholders have some the compensation, very appropriate measures is taken place, then I think no problem would be in the habitat. So they live in uh, having good feelings. And okay,
it's
here
changing a
we
lot of attitudes to from negative to positive. That's great.
yeah,
Anna,
right.
how did you get involved with the Snow Leopard Scouts?
Well, yeah, this is very interesting program. This has been organizing by. After this program, the Snow Leopard Conservancy joined hand with Annapurna Conservation Area project. So this is very interesting because we have a 3 days residential camp. So we hike a whole day to reach in the 4,300 meters. We camp, and we have 30 to 35 students, teachers, herders, and rangers. So we have sometimes, experts along with, experts, snow leopard experts, and then the citizen scientists that Rodney Jackson, Rodney is here. So who train, citizen scientists, mentor the local herders, have been trained, skilled, and So what happened that this is the lifetime experience that the student are having in this camp. That first they teach how to set up the camp, because tent set up the tent, and it's very just near the snow mountain. So we have they have chance to monitor the snow leopard prey. It's very difficult to see the snow leopard, but the prey can be seen, grazing in nearby the blue sheep, and And there is another activity is very important that we have a art workshop, essay competition, and quiz contest, and we have a documentary, and so they interact, and the expert give lecture about the habitat, how and then they go for money setting of the camera trap. So while going to the ridge up to 4,700 meter, the weather is very harsh, and it's very difficult weather. So very changing weather, and then they recognize the expert and the citizen scientists recognize the find out the scat and scrap of the snow leopard, so they have a chance to know that, oh, this is the scat of the snow leopard. And then in the height of the snow leopard body size, they set up the camera trap, and the expert and the citizen scientist give lecture. They let them know that, okay, this is the camera trap, and the chips is like this, and how it is used, and later on it is taken out from the camera, and the image is captured. The people are thinking that, okay, so many interesting things happen in camera trap monitoring. Let me share with you two event that in one village where the people are having lots of problems with, they are thinking that the snow leopard are killing their livestock. But in camera trap, the common leopard captured in the 4,700 meter, it was the habitat of snow leopard, but common leopards. And then the villagers realized that, oh, not only snow leopard killing our livestock, there is common leopard. And another thing happened that, setting up it was the for the snow leopard, but Palas cat, one of the new species for Nepal, was captured in that camera. Uh, Tasiar Ghale had set up the camera in Monan, and it was a good big story for Nepal. So okay, and then they have a very good experience in 3 days, one after another, and we organize 3 camps regularly. So this camp program has been replicated by other organizations also nowadays.
How old are the students, Anil? Are they like in their
Yeah,
young teens?
yeah, young students of 6, 7, 8.
Oh,
Yeah, so it's 12 to 15 years old. Yeah. And one time, what happened that the girl who she ran from the hill, she rolled down, and luckily she survived.
oh boy.
And that was the big lesson to her, that she realized, and she expressed that, oh, I never do that again. I tell my friend not to do this. So this is a lesson. So
That,
yeah, we have there is a short documentary on YouTube also. You can watch. It is the name of the document site is Snow Leopard Scout in Annapurna in YouTube. You can watch that
that's
documentary
great.
if you're interested. So yeah, we have a street drama also. So after accomplishing this event, we go to the district headquarters, and so we shared our presentation. So this is another thing that is yeah, the conservation. Yeah, next slide.
Sure.
So based on that activities, we published the book compiling the students' contributions. So this is a conservation and livelihood, yeah, saving and credit program for snow leopard conservation. Actually, you see that this is two different content: saving and credit and conservation. Science and livelihood is sustainable livelihood is bringing together. And what happened that I was responsible to monitor and reporting this project in Sagarmatha National Park. That Snow Leopard Conservancy gave some seed fund to the group that Snow Leopard Conservancy formed, that group of Sherpa women. So the best part of this project is that out of total annual profit, they share some profit to the compensating the loss of the snow leopard, the livestock loss, and then and some part contribute to the local schools to organize, carry out the snow leopard and conservation based activities. So the saving and credit group is contributing in conservation that way. So another good thing is you can see the logo of the in the costume. This is the cultural dress. The Sherpa women visit hotels, different hotels, to organize the dance party and the song program, the Sherpa cultural dance. So Snow Leopard Conservancy invested in custom. So they match fund. The community also provided some fund. So we had a condition that, okay, you guys should have this kind of logo in your costume, so that when they perform their dance and program, then the guest will, start asking them question that, oh, what is that? So they will tell that, oh, this is snow leopard and the conservation initiative is happening in this area. So they start talking about the snow leopard. This was the objective of this logo, and the group has now starting the mineral water business. So some profit is contributing in the conservation. So this is very good program and still going on since 2010.
Wow.
Yeah, it
That's a
is
good
still
long
going
time.
on. So they have, even though I have experienced that the rich hotel owner was telling me that actually I don't need loan. I don't need loan, but for my friends, to teach them the importance of the loan, and you should start taking the loan 500 rupees, 5,000 rupees, to grow your business, or doing some kind of entrepreneur enterprises kind
Mm-hmm.
of things. So now they save regularly, monthly wise, so some amount, so they have some deposit, and so they have understood what the importance of saving is, and contributing in conservation. So livelihood and sustainable livelihood is equally important in conservation. So yeah, we have a Snow Leopard magazine. So we are working in the 7th edition. So it is popular among the conservation stakeholders. Most of the people like it because we are trying to incorporate all snow leopard happenings, activities, news, not only of Nepal, but snow leopard range countries stories are also included here. So this is in Nepali and English language. So every November we publish it and distribute it to the many stakeholders.
Yes, Anil, on our website, in the media section, we do have links to all the editions of the Snow Leopard magazine, if anyone's interested. And it is published in English too. So if you guys want to see the Snow Leopard magazine, in the media section on our website, there's a link to each of the editions. It's a great magazine.
And then also, if you are interested, then you can contribute story to the magazine. If you are interested in writing, then you can also contribute, sending us a story and article of the snow leopard,
Well,
art,
that's cool.
poem. Yeah, we'll publish.
This is
So,
a
okay,
neat
now,
slide. That's a cool looking stamp.
yeah, now I'd like to talk little bit about the conservation education in Nepal. So there is two sector, government sector and non-government sector. So we have, the government is doing its best to generate awareness and So we have even I have seen other countries also that publishing the animals in the rupee in the currency note. So we have stamps regularly posting in the postal stamps and the rupees note. Lots of protected animals are so this is one of the means of awareness, I think. So we have what the interesting thing is in Nepal government there is a authorized Department of National Park and Wildlife Conservation. So it has conservation education wings that publish lots of materials, reading materials, literature. So it's
That's
been
great.
yeah, and in non-government organization, major actors, conservation actors have conservation education is one of the thematic areas. So they under this unit, so they have lots of school-based environment clubs. They are doing extraordinary work. Even they are rescuing they rescue the animals. They are separated from the mother or from the nature, and taking care of them and release it in the nature, and other good things doing by these clubs. And we have so many number of significant number of environment club based in schools. And we have celebrations, environment based celebrations, like Snow Leopard Day on October 23, World Environment Day. And the government of Nepal has recently announced the guideline that to encourage to establish one eco club at each school, one school, so that they start talking about the environment conservation and in
Well,
the
that's
high
great.
Himalaya.
So they
Yeah,
want each school then to have an environmental club. That's great.
yeah, yeah. And then not only the conservation, they have chance to bring change in them, building their capacity, leadership development in them, and they can, even though they can talk in public, they can build their skill and capacity, personality development. And okay, so just for this presentation, actually I have been writing book since many years, but the impact is not seen by the authorized organization who assigned me to write the book. So it is necessary actually what happened, and it's very difficult to see what impact has been, through
Right.
the. So, but
That's
I
one of the
try to,
hardest things I think,
yeah,
Anil,
it's very
is
hard
to
thing.
evaluate what kind of an impact you're
Yeah,
making. It's hard to actually assess it, to understand people's opinions or their, what they think or feel. It's hard to assess that, how you're impacting for maybe generations.
yeah,
But
but
even with that slingshot, the
mhm,
kids quit using their slingshot. That was a direct
yeah,
uh, result of, your booklets, that it made an impact on those kids. They realized that what they were doing wasn't so great and they stopped. So, but yeah, you're right. It is hard to see the impact, but these are all great things, things that are measurable, that um, how much they're talking about it, and banning junk foods. That's cool. And uh,
yeah. Yeah, this is based on the information provided by the environment and conservation teachers who are, taking part in that book that I wrote. So I just received this, organized one short research. So they provided me this information. So, yeah, lots of interesting thing that make me feel happy that, oh, at least they have started doing these things. So wildlife rescue and rehabilitation is also one of the important things. They don't harm the animal, at least they take care of the. And then they have started talking about the snow leopard and other protected animals. And conservation books are used as the training materials for the teachers and reference materials. I remember one very famous conservation officer, Rodney, must know him, or maybe he knows him. Yeah, so he told me that, oh, Anil, I take your book in my bag as a reference because I attend several trainings. So it is very informative, and lots of conservation contents are available in your book. So yeah, and so there the students are they have stopped, at least within the school premises, they have stopped throwing the plastics and the chocolates and noodles packet here and there. They started building the making the dustbin in some schools, but I'm not sure that under all the schools are doing this. But it's very important that they should.
Yeah.
Working in, I realized that working in the conservation sector, environment sector, at least I have started garbage management, waste management at my home, and so I think, yeah, if I tell other people to do this, so I should start from myself first, so that so sometimes it is hard to that okay, now yeah, I'm at the end of the session, I think. So we have recently it is one of the very good thing for snow leopard conservation in Nepal that recently we have two reference book published, and it is sent to the students in two conservation area. So the students use it throughout the year for 2 years, for the grade 7 and 8. And so with the conservation education teacher facilitate the book. So these books help understand snow leopard prey habitat and other related issues at the local level. So this is all based on the research, research doing in the community. So, and then the government of Nepal realized that this book is very important for conservation of snow leopard. So I guess in the snow leopard habitat range country, it is one of the innovative. It is yeah, it is one of the innovative um, pilot projects. So we have recently started, and our another training is going on next week. So I'm leaving for the Eastern Nepal, where this book is going to implement in. So 12 schools will use this book. So
And weren't you telling me that the schools are back in person
yeah,
now that they're able to have classes in person
yeah.
again?
Yeah, due to the COVID, it was all the schools closed, but recently it's reopened and the schools. So taking very precaution. They are yeah, coming to the school and taking class. So all the students are happy because they are getting their own stories of the local stories in the book, the familiar people in the book name, and so they are excited. So this is pilot project, so we have to see the whole year, and 1 and 2 years to see how it will go. So I'm very excited that I thank Rodney and entire SLC team for giving me this opportunity to write these two books. Yeah, this is during the field test in Jumsum, Annapurna Conservation Area.
We really hope for COVID to be over so we can join you at
Yeah.
some of these functions.
Yeah, I was thinking, but yeah, it's because this book, yeah, we really should have some celebration or function, or so I wish you from someone from SLC California should make a plan to Nepal And so okay, let me share with you some sketches here. So all are heavyweight veteran and legendary people of Snow Leopard, and so their stories are documented, and so new exploration of the animal, wildlife, the how Nepal's first protected area built, design. So in a story, the form, the interesting, not only the like a literature or other article. So in an interesting shape, they read the story and they understand how things happen in Nepal. How the protected area established, or Dr. Chandra Prasad Gurung was the former country director of WWF Nepal. So what contribution he had in conservation? So the students will learn. So this is all about the book one. So we have another book, sketches.
These are great, Anil.
So this is about the livelihood and the sustainable livelihoods. So the people are losing. One short story, let me share with you that we have a culture. Our Nepalese greatest festival is coming very soon. So the culture of the Himalayas, they have lots of now hundreds of yaks and goats, sheep. So during this festival, they take all the livestock and back down in for selling the goats and for the festival. And the snow leopard killed 107 goats in 2 nights in one village in the Upper Mustang. So this is a story about that incident. So I interviewed that guy who lost 107 goats in 2 days. So, but he received very nominal compensation because there is no livestock insurance scheme. So, he lost, so this is a very great impact to his livelihood. So here is Rodney Jackson. Yeah, Rodney, you are here crossing the log bridge in Cornwall. So I don't know how much, the artist um, could make your image,
I think it was,
Are you satisfied with the?
yeah, it was scary, and it was one person at a time.
Yeah, well, lots of.
Now that's the drawing down in the left-hand corner, everyone. That's Dr. Jackson.
Yeah.
And when I would go into the field and not come out for 6 or 9 months, so I had a lot of hair on my head, like I have now, because of COVID, and I haven't gone to the hairdresser at all.
So the back memory give you, some.
Now these are great. These are all Anil's. This is terrific.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I get chance to, I take my camera during my field trip, so I capture some, snow leopard praise. Unfortunately, I have not got chance to see the snow leopard so far. And this is blue sheep.
There they go. Must be a snow leopard hot on their
Yeah,
heels.
there must be predator around.
A wolf or a snow leopard.
Maybe, yeah. So, yeah. So I love photography too. So this is from Tarai lowland and the high Himalayas compilation of the wildlife. And this is this give you satisfaction that you can, one thing, you disseminate the object, wildlife among lots of people, and time management also, and you love your work. Yeah, there is no priceless work. So, apart from the conservation work, I'm involved in some charity work in helping some students of disability, and supporting library by purchasing and compiling books and donating in the library, and fundraising, and and the movement against human trafficking. So it's been 20 years that I'm in this campaign, anti-trafficking campaign. So I'm involved in some kind of publication work. So this is a national level campaign. So yeah, we have. So these are all my works. Yeah, I'd like to acknowledge. Yeah, thank you everyone. Yeah, this is for what I'm today, and yeah, for the opportunities, encouragement, supports. Yeah, I'd like to thank everyone. So can I read name, or okay? Let's yeah, have a discussion. If
I
any,
don't know what happened. It went out. So I can try to get it back here. There we go.
okay.
Let's see.
Don't
So
see it yet. Anyway, thank you very much, Anil, for that great background. I wonder if people might have questions. All right, I haven't been looking. I probably need to take a look down there.
Yeah,
And
I
have
think
you
there were
read on.
quite a few questions. Let me see here. Ashley had to step out. Let's see here. We had someone join us from South Africa today, but their connection was kind of bad. So I hope they were able to get back in. She had shared the Snow Leopard magazine link. Let's see here. Varpu says, I don't have any questions. I just wanted to say I have huge respect for Anil and the work he's been doing on grassroots level to raise wildlife awareness. Thank you, Varpu.
Thank you so much for compliments.
And then another comment, thank you, Anil, for your experience. I'm very proud of your work all the way from Minnesota. And another one says, thank you for sharing your wonderful conservation education journey with us.
Thank you, Ozzy. He's my brother from Minnesota.
I think so, yeah. Did anyone have a question? If you want to unmute your microphone, if you had a question for Anil. Yoko, did you have a question? Another comment says, thank you, Anil, for your wonderful presentation.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. And thank you, Shavaun. Thank you, SLC team, for this wonderful platform, for sharing my work, conservation work, and my opinion, and listening to me. Thank you, everyone, for joining me.
Ashley's back. Hi.
Yes.
One of our participants said that they met Dr. Apollo Colorado at the Big Cat Conference in South Africa. Thank you for your work and sharing. I'm formulating my doctoral on community conservation at the moment, and tonight was very informative, Yolandi. Yes, conservation is about communities. That's what I tell people. The most important animal that we're working with is people, because without the people in the local communities, as you said, Anil, at the very beginning, conservation initiatives aren't going to work unless you have the local communities involved. And to get them involved, you need to be of assistance to them and listen to what they need, as well as what the wild animals need. And but you're so true. It's so true what you said, Anil.
Anil, I just wanted to thank you so much for your partnership over the years, and congratulations on all your hard work getting the Snow Leopard school books launched, especially with all the challenges with the pandemic this last year with school closures. I just want to congratulate you on such a success. I'm really excited to see the impact of these books throughout all the mountain communities and children that they'll serve, and then the families that they teach as a result. So thank you very much for being here today with us. It's an honor to have you here today.
Thank you, SLC, for giving me that assignment. So without your help, and it would not be possible to publish. And thank you, everyone.
Well,
Alexandra
I'll
says,
make a quick
Neil,
comment.
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rodney.
Sorry, yeah.
It's really through collaboration and partnerships that, we are able to deal with some of these conflicts, because losing your livestock when that's your cash in the bank is really quite significant to you. And education, encouraging herders to be better shepherds, guarding their animals, protecting animals, especially at night, so the snow leopards don't get into the livestock pens, is one side of it. But the other side of it is with these communities, as they living really on the edge. They don't have a lot of resources, and they have the same aspirations that we have. They want their kids to go to a better school, get a better education, and have better jobs and lives than they have. And so the other half of our job, for which Anil didn't really spend that much time on, but is becoming more important, I think, is activities that improve people's livelihoods, that give them more money in the household to be able to fulfill their needs, to get food, because a lot of these areas are actually food deficient for up to 3 or 4 months a year. And, the only way to deal with that, and where you can't grow the crops because the soils aren't good, is to get cash and go to the marketplace and buy food. And so they need both. So the combination of education, of action on the ground, and of partnerships between local people, between Nepali experts, people like Anil, incredible resource people, and NGOs working together with government is absolutely critical to the future of snow leopards. So thanks, Anil, for your many years of collaboration.
Thank you, you too, Rodney. Yeah, it is my privilege to have chance to work with the legendary scientists, snow leopard scientists. Thank you so much, Rodney.
But you're very busy. Yeah, I don't know how you have time to do writing. You've been in the field quite a bit.
Yoko, did you want to unmute yourself and ask your question?
Me?
No,
Yoko.
Yoko.
Sorry.
Okay, feel free. Anybody else have any other questions?
Varpu, did you have a question, or Mary, or? No. All right. Well, thank you so much, Anil. It's been great to talk to you. It was great to meet your son.
I hope everybody enjoyed my presentation.
Yes.
It was my first presentation,
Very much.
And thank you for listening to me patiently.
You did. It was great.
Yeah.
Okay.
And thanks for all the really cool pictures.
It took me.
Take care.
Thank you. Yeah.
We hope to see you early next year when COVID permits.
Yeah.
Mary.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone,
Bye.
for coming. In the next
Bye.
couple months, we'll have conservation cat chats with Marcia Civic of Be Provided Conservation Radio. And we have another one coming up. With Wendy Brewer-Lama of Karma Quest, eco tourism travel, adventure travel. So that's what's coming up in the next couple months. Again, I want to thank you all for coming today, and we're going to be signing off. This is recorded, so it will be up on our YouTube channel and on our website later on today. And Neil, if you want to stay on, but thank you everyone for coming, and we'll see you next month.
Yeah, I'll stay and we'll review for a while.
Okay. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Bye. Have a great day.